What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So I think the main question I get around Shiba Inu and Shibarium is if we do have a burn tax, and we will because they said they'll burn on every single transaction, how much will Shibarium burn? Will it be enough to be able to do it by itself, or do we need some extra things that are going into it, more transactions that are flowing through Shibarium because it may be cheaper in a way? Um, Also, the tax that they're going to do, is that going to be the best option if we see what's happening with Terra Luna Classic, and obviously people are more likely to go to other places because the tax is on chain. But this place, you would have this tax. Now I'm going to address all of this stuff. I'll address the tax situation and even having the tax to begin with, and then we'll go into how much Shibarium will truly burn. And this is all based off of speculation a little bit, understanding what the volume will be. And there's a lot of variables that take place within this. So make sure you take all of this with a grain of salt. And it's not 100% that this will work out this way. So anyways, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. I did put a lot of time into building this spreadsheet out and making sure that we did have accuracy. But make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. If you guys want to follow me on Patreon, feel free to follow me on Patreon. And, we can definitely talk about different investments and, Shiba Inu. You can reach out to me directly. We can chat about your portfolio as well. No financial advice, of course. I'll give you opinions on strategies, but that's pretty much it. But anyways, let's talk about Shiba Inu and Shibarium, because this is a big topic. Is how much are they going to burn? What's the percentage of burn that we're going to see per transaction? There's just so many questions around it because we're not given a lot of information. So addressing the whole percentage piece. So understanding the comparison between the two, Shiba Inu and Lunic, you understand that Lunic has a whole different dynamic to it. I mean, yes, you are paying Lunic as you do make transactions, but when you look at the transactions for Terra Luna Classic, they're very, very low compared to what's happening on Ethereum when you're trading Shiba Inu. It may be $5, it may be $10, it may be $15. Hell, at one point it was like $95 to trade Ethereum for a simple transaction. At one point, I tried to trade $950 worth of Ethereum, and it was going to cost me $980 to send, which was ridiculous. Now it's not to that level now, but you still do have higher prices that you would pay. So Shibarium will be a level to where you are going to pay way lower in overall transaction fees. So then when you have that tax, it's not going to be as much of a burden as what it would be with Terra Luna Classic for normal people, normal day traders, or anything like that. Because they're used to something higher anyways. Now, it also all depends on whatever the percentage is, right? If the percentage is 1%, then it may end up being higher depending how much you end up buying. If the percentage is 0.5%, it may end up being higher depending on how much you buy. But if it's 0.1%, it might be low no matter the case. So that's what I'm thinking that they'll end up doing. So that kind of addresses that point. We understand that the percentage piece could be a lot bigger, but it really all depends. And that's one of the variables here. But understanding, breaking all of this down, I think we need to break down where the prices are, all of these other stuff, where the price is for Shiba Inu, understanding how much we would burn throughout time, and how long it would take to do that. So again, I built a spreadsheet, but I think the first thing we need to go into to understand is to look at where the circulating supplies are, or look at where the volume is for everything that would be traded on Shibarium. So the things that would be traded on Shibarium right now that we know of would be Shiba Inu, Bone, and Leash. So we have to understand the volumes of those. So Shiba Inu is around, let's say, 500 million. I understand it may be lower than that. It may be higher than that. We don't know, especially around any type of bull market. Dogecoin, or sorry, not Dogecoin, Doge Killer, which is Leash. We're looking at about 500, or let's say 600, $1,000 worth of volume for that. Bone, we have about $7 million worth of volume that flows through there. So I put that all into my spreadsheet. And this is a spreadsheet that I came up with. right? So we have everything up top to where we have $7 million. We have 557,000 when we have $500 million that flows through SHIB, right? If we look at the different ones here, I put a 0.1% because of what Binance is doing. It seems to be something that could be standard. So 0.1%. We also have 0.5%, and we have 1% here. Now, if we look at all of these numbers here, we're going to see that at 0.10%, we're looking at $7,000 that would go out for Bone, $500,000 for Shiba, and then also $557 for leash, and then increase that, it would be 35,000, 2,700, or 2.5 million, and then 1% would be 5 million, 5.5k, and then $70,000 that flows through at 1%. Now, right now, in the example, I'm pretty sure they're going to do something around 0.1% because they don't want to drive anybody away from using Shibarium. And it really all depends on how much volume flows through there. Because if we're not going to have 100% of the volume that flows through there, but let's say if we did have 100% of the volume that flows through there, then we can basically say that all of this would come true. However, you may end up having to split it in half. You may end up having to take the total amount that you have here, take that equals sum, and I can't do that. Or you may end up only taking 10% equals sum of this. Oh God, I can't use Excel. Equals sum of this, and you would basically multiply it by 0.5, right? And then you would get half of that. Now, most likely, I would think it's going to be somewhere around 10%, but we'll go with all of it right now and see what it would be if we saw all volume. Know that this will not be the case. It will never be the case. So if we look at 0.1% of the tax, 0.1% or of a tax to the total amount that goes through Shibarium, a total amount of volume, you would see a total daily amount of about 56 billion coins. Now, monthly, that would equal about 1.7 trillion. And yearly, that would equal about 20.5 trillion, including all of it. That means it would take 28.6 years for this to play out that way. Now, if we increase this to see 0.5, it would take 5.7 years for this to play out with all of the volume. Know that this will not happen, but with all of the volume, that's what will happen there. Then if we see 1%, it'll take about 2.8 years for that to play out with all of the volume. Now, what we need to do with this is, I think what we should do is take the 0.10% and probably look at this total amount and multiply this by 0.10%. I would say we're probably going to see somewhere around 10 or 20% of the total volume go through, Shibarium. And maybe it may be more, and that's great if it is. But I would say let's focus on a low number and try and keep it really low, which means that we'll see about 2 trillion that burns off yearly, which is way better than where we are right now, seeing about 83 billion that's burned off in the last year. So seeing 2 trillion would be amazing. It would decrease the supply. However, it wouldn't even be 1% that's really coming off of it per year. So how long would this take if we were just talking about that? So if I take this out, if I take this out and I literally just divide it by this, then I end up getting 286 years. So it's going to take a very, very long time to burn down that supply if you're only looking at 10% of the volume that flows through it. And the reason why I say 10% is because if we go over to CoinMarketCap and we go to Shiba Inu and we go to the markets, I kind of take my comparison off of maybe 10x or even 20x what Shiba Swap is. And if you look at Shiba Swap, you're really looking at like 0.6% of the overall volume that flows through that, and that's their own system. So you're looking at $780,000. So you're probably only looking at you're looking at 1.18%. So it's even lower than that. So either way, I expect it to be low that transitions over or moves over. However, it could be bigger depending on how low it is, how low the fees are compared to what you would trade on Ethereum. So it really all depends. And there's so many variables here that we can't tell you exactly what would happen, but we can give you different scenarios and break down all of this stuff and say that yes, if they take 10%, that's 286 years that it would take if you're looking at, or sorry, 0.10%. And then if you look at, and 10% of the overall volume, but then if you look at 1%, you're still going to look at 28 years for that if you can go to 1%. However, the larger transactions taxed by 1% would be a lot. I feel like it's not a lot. I feel like that's a standard amount and would be great for a standard tax. But as you buy so much, you're going to kind of push whales off of the platform. Whales are not going to go there because they don't want a 1% tax. They won't get a 1% tax when they trade that much over in MetaMask, or they trade that much over in Coinbase or something like that. So you have to make sure the tax is lower than the standard transaction that you would have across different exchanges. So how long would it take for us to burn? I'd say let's cross our fingers that it's less than 286 years. Guys, if you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more videos like this one. Also, make sure you check out some of the links down below. It does help out the channel. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter at Perry8K, you can follow me there. Don't forget about my Patreon. Link is in the description. But I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.